Louis-Napoleon Bonaparte. A name echoing with grandeur and tragedy, a name that would be etched in the annals of history. Born in 1808, he was the nephew of the legendary Napoleon Bonaparte, a man whose shadow loomed large over Europe. Imagine growing up in the shadow of such a figure. The expectations, the pressures, and the constant comparisons. His early life was marked by exile, a fate that took him far from the land he would one day seek to rule. He lived in Switzerland and Italy, far from his homeland, absorbing the cultures and political climates of these diverse regions. But you know, the flame of ambition burned bright within him. Despite the distance, his heart remained with France. He dreamt of restoring the Bonaparte dynasty to its former glory, a vision that would drive his every action. His early years were crucial in shaping his worldview. He was an avid reader, a keen observer, and a student of history. He witnessed firsthand the political turmoil that engulfed Europe, the revolutions, the uprisings, and the constant struggle for power. He saw the rise and fall of empires, the shifting alliances, and the relentless march of history. These experiences instilled in him a belief in strong leadership, a conviction that only a firm hand could steer a nation through such turbulent times. He believed that France needed a firm hand to guide it back to greatness, a leader who could restore its former glory and navigate the complexities of the modern world. Louis Napoleon's early political career was marked by a series of audacious attempts and crushing defeats. From a young age, he was driven by a vision of restoring the Napoleonic legacy and bringing glory back to France. In 1836, he staged a clumsy coup in Strasbourg, hoping to rally the army to his cause. It failed spectacularly. The plan was poorly executed, and the military did not support him as he had hoped. He was arrested and exiled once more. This setback, however, did not deter him. Instead, it fueled his determination to continue his quest for power. Undeterred, he made another attempt in 1840, landing in Boulogne with a band of loyal followers. This time, he hoped to incite a popular uprising and gain the support of the people. This, too, ended in disaster. The authorities quickly suppressed the attempt, and Louis Napoleon found himself once again in custody. These failures, however, did not extinguish his ambition. Each defeat only seemed to strengthen his resolve and deepen his commitment to his cause. They only served to harden his resolve. During his time in prison, he reflected on his past mistakes and planned his future moves with even greater care. He used his time in prison to write extensively. His writings were not just a means of passing time, but a way to communicate his vision and ideas to the outside world. His book, The Extinction of Poverty, outlined his political and social ideas. It was a manifesto that called for significant reforms and a new direction for France. He argued for a strong leader who could uplift the poor and restore France to its rightful place in the world. His vision was clear, a France that was powerful, prosperous, and just. France in the 1840s was a nation teetering on the brink. The July monarchy, established after the 1830 revolution, was plagued by corruption and economic inequality. The working class, suffering under harsh conditions, grew increasingly restless. The middle class, yearning for stability and prosperity, became disillusioned with the monarchy. This volatile mix of social and economic grievances created a tinderbox atmosphere. The French people were hungry for change. They were looking for a leader who could offer them hope and a vision for a better future. Little did they know that the answer, or so they thought, lay with the ambitious nephew of a long-gone emperor. Section 4. The Making of a President, Louis Napoleon's Rise to Power. The year 1848 brought with it a wave of revolutions that swept across Europe. These uprisings were driven by a desire for political reform, social justice, and national independence. The old order was being challenged, and the people were demanding change. The July monarchy in France crumbled under the weight of popular discontent. King Louis-Philippe was forced to abdicate, and the monarchy was replaced by the Second Republic. The streets of Paris were filled with revolutionary fervor. In the ensuing chaos, Louis Napoleon saw his opportunity. He had been living in exile, but the political upheaval presented him with a chance to return to France and make his mark on history. He returned from exile, presenting himself as a man of the people. He portrayed himself as a leader who understood the struggles and aspirations of ordinary citizens, someone who could bring stability to a nation in turmoil. He promised to restore order and prosperity to France. His campaign was built on the promise of a better future, one where the chaos of revolution would be replaced by peace and progress. His name, his legacy, and his simple message resonated with the French people. They saw in him a connection to the past glories of the Napoleonic era, and they believed he could lead them to a brighter future. They yearned for stability and a return to glory. The French people were tired of the constant upheaval and longed for a leader who could bring them security and prosperity. Louis-Napoleon, with his charisma and promises, offered them a glimmer of hope. His speeches were filled with optimism and a vision for a united and strong France. In December 1848, he was elected President of the Second Republic. His victory was a testament to his ability to connect with the people and their desire for a new direction. It was a stunning victory for the once exiled Bonaparte. His rise to power marked the beginning of a new chapter in French history, one that would see him eventually become Emperor Napoleon III. Section 5. The Coup of 1851, A Republic No More. Louis Napoleon's presidency, however, was short-lived. The constitution of the Second Republic limited him to a single term. This did not sit well with his ambition. On December 2, 1851, he staged a coup d'état, seizing power and dissolving the National Assembly. He justified his actions by claiming that he was protecting France from chaos and anarchy. The coup was met with resistance. There were uprisings in Paris and other cities, but Louis Napoleon was ruthless in crushing his opponents. He consolidated his power and a year later held a plebiscite. The people of France, weary of instability, voted overwhelmingly to make him emperor. The Second Empire was born. Section 6. Emperor Napoleon III. Legacy of the Second Empire. Louis Napoleon, now Emperor Napoleon III, embarked on an ambitious program of modernization and expansion. He oversaw the rebuilding of Paris, transforming it into the grand city we know today. He promoted industrial growth and economic development. He also engaged in foreign adventures, seeking to restore France's standing on the world stage. His reign, however, was not without its shadows. He ruled with an iron fist, suppressing dissent and curtailing civil liberties. His foreign adventures, while initially successful, ultimately ended in disaster. The Franco-Prussian War of 1870 to 1871 led to his capture and the collapse of the Second Empire. Section 7. Conclusion. A complex legacy. Louis Napoleon's legacy remains a subject of intense debate to this day. He was a complex and deeply contradictory figure. He was a visionary leader who modernized France, but also an authoritarian ruler who stifled any opposition. He left an indelible mark on France, shaping its political, social, and physical landscape for generations. His story is a reminder that history is rarely black and white, often filled with shades of gray. It is a tapestry woven from ambition, idealism, ruthlessness, and ultimately, tragedy and loss. Louis Napoleon's rise and fall serve as a cautionary tale about the seductive nature of power and the fine line between ambition and tyranny.